I really hope y'all can't hear that outside because this is literally my only time to do this. And we're gonna do it, so I'm sorry if you can hear the mowing of the grass. I don't know who does this right now at this time in this heat, but they do. And that's okay because it's time for our June wrap up and we're gonna get this started. So June was literally I don't want to say worse because it was not bad because I had really good reads, but it was my slowest reading month of the year. I read 3 books this month. I read 3 books this month. They were all good. So at least I had that. At least it wasn't like one and it just took me a little bit to finish 2 of them. And we'll get into that. So this month I started off with reading Saving Six. So many numbers I have to remember. Saving Six, which follows Joey Lynch, who is Shannon's older brother, second oldest in the Lynch family, and his girlfriend, hold on, Eva, they have very unique spellings of the name, so I'm always looking up pronunciations, but it follows Joey and Eva. It follows kind of within the same timeline of Binding 13 and Saving 13 and Keeping 13. Oh my god. So it took me a little bit to read it because I was very hesitant on like, why did I want to just go back and reread the same story? I gave it 4 stars. Why did I wait so long to read this book? Joey is such a raw character and oh my god, that man has done so much for his siblings but has such a heartbreaking response to trauma because those Lynch kids, thank God for the Kavanaughs for saving them because I don't think Joey could have done it by himself. I really don't think. And Joey also deserved to have a childhood. So you follow their life. It's a little bit before Binding 13 starts, but then you kind of still see a little bit of the current story or like the past 2. In there, you get like sneak peeks. I want to know if there's like a tandem read because if you're reading this for the first time, I would totally tandem read these. Totally. Because these books are long, which gets into my second book. Obviously, after finishing Saving Six, I read Redeeming Six. I gave that book 3.75 stars. That's probably my lowest rating for The Boys of Tommen because why was that book so long? I felt like there was a lot of like repeated things in there, things that we could have just taken a chunk out and maybe made it smaller, shorter. I still enjoyed it. I really enjoy these characters. These books, I get really upset when somebody, not upset. I understand that you either like this series or you hate it, but some of the people who hate it, they don't realize that a lot of people deal with their traumas in different ways. I personally enjoy reading these kind of books that are really heavy. I'm not always a happy ending person. Those are nice, but I also like to be realistic with my reads, and yeah. And boy, do these break your heart. I don't think I cried with these 2. This is probably the only duet that I have not cried with. I will tell you that I have finished The Boys of Tommen. Well, I've completed up to where Chloe has stopped. You're gonna have to wait for those reviews and remarks because oh my god. But anyways, I felt like I physically could not read any other books until I completed this. Chokehold. That is the definition of chokehold. Enjoyed both of them. But why are they so long? All of them have been so long except Taming 7. But I'm going to keep that to myself for now. The third book I read was for our book club, and that was Night of the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I gave that one 4.75 stars. Wow. I did not like One Dark Window. I was a One Dark Window hater. I felt it was too close to my beloved Belladonna series, and for me, I just could not. Maybe if I read One Dark Window before Belladonna, I would have enjoyed it. It was a good book. I don't remember what I rated it. Let's see what I rated One Dark Window. Hold on. I gave One Dark Window 3 stars. That doesn't mean it's a bad book. It just was average for me. I didn't read the second one. I know what happens. But The Night and the Moth, it was such a unique concept that it was like a breath of fresh air. You follow Six, who is a You see how I can talk about The Boys Atonement without pausing or having any issues? It's literally, but I've also been reading those books nonstop. But The Night and the Moth follows Sybil, who also goes by Six. She is what is it called? She's a diviner. There are diviners that help people see bad omens or good omens. They kind of like a future teller, but they're essentially dreamers. Like, they dream. They drown and they dream. And they are living in this castle, I guess. And they're controlled by this one person. They don't see it as control because this person saved their life. Forgot what she's called, but she's like the head, right? But then Sybil, who also goes by Six, because they don't have any real identities, sees this man who they see when they're like, the king is coming. He's a knight of the king. His name's Rory, and she kind of starts questioning things. I think she started questioning things a little bit before Rory, but she starts questioning things to the point of breaking some rules, and then other diviners start going missing. So there's this whole mystery of where these diviners are going. She goes on this grand adventure because she also kind of runs away to find where the diviners are, and she ends up finding a whole lot more. Also, there's a gargoyle. His name is Bartholomew. He is literally my favorite character of 2025 so far. He's like the comedic relief when things are getting tough. He calls everybody Bartholomew, so you're going to be kind of confused in the beginning. You're going to think everybody's name is Bartholomew, but Six will tell you that he calls everybody Bartholomew. But there are like gargoyles that are creatures that live in this castle. Bartholomew is just the one that kind of hangs out with Six the most. So it was really cool to see their relationship, and it's going to be a duology, so it's definitely a second book that I'm going to pick up because the ending, what the F? What the heck? It was good. It was so good. So out of those reads, I did 2 of them digital, which was The Boys Atonement, and then I listened to Night and the Moth. Thank you, Hatchet Audio, for giving me a gifted copy. Much love. Love it. It was an easy audio to follow along with as well because I typically don't do fantasy, but this one was, I'm telling you, the world building was great. The concept was unique. Like, it was just everything I needed in a fantasy novel. A good little break from The Boys Atonement. I did not really have any reading streaks this past month. I think my longest reading streak was a week. Yeah, I didn't read a lot. I'm now at 32 out of 50 books, so I'm making my way downtown, reaching my reading goals. And then since June was the end of a quarter, we're going to talk about my favorite book from June, and then my favorite book of the quarter, and then we get to find out my favorite book of 6 months. Because holy hell. Okay, my favorite book of June was Night and the Moth. Obviously, what the heck? I want that so fast. So that put it on my radar. But then my battling two, I have a bracket. So my top one from all three, April, May, June was, April was Fearless, May was The Woman, and June was The Night and the Moth. Those 3 months, Fearless was my first, like, my number one. Last 3 months, like, first quarter, whatever. January was Onyx Storm, February was Trials of the Sun Queen, and March was Binding 13. My favorite of those three was Binding 13. But between Binding 13 and Fearless, my favorite book for the first 6 months, I love that the lawnmowers are giving us some drum rolls. It was Fearless. I, once again, will accept no hate for this book. Fearless by Lauren Roberts has been my favorite book. I don't know if a book will top it this year. I really don't. Just kidding, Lauren Roberts is coming out with something. Is that next year? I feel like she just announced something. Hold on. Oh yes, we're getting a novella from Lauren Roberts September 21st. So who knows? Who knows if that will be my next favorite book? I don't know. Novellas are usually like hit or miss for me. Okay, we're gonna go into our TV shows and movies that I watched in June. We finished Servant. What the heck? We started and finished your Friends and Neighbors. That one is a really funny but like cool show. It's on Apple TV. You follow like this rich man who loses his job and then he starts stealing from his neighbors. And there's a whole bunch of other drama that goes on. Very good watch. And then I educated my youngest sister in the foundation of girlhood. We watched the Cheetah Girls 2, and Cheetah Girls 3, and the Lizzie McGuire movie. Takeaway, Cheetah Girls 3 did not need to come out. Cheetah Girls 2, superior. Lizzie McGuire movie, foundation of my life, right? Hey now, hey now. We also went to go watch in theaters How to Train Your Dragon live action. Cried my eyes out. Was actually allowed to watch it because as a child I was not allowed to watch How to Train Your Dragon, even though I took my other little sister to go watch it secretly. Sorry, Mom. So I got to see it live action. It was phenomenal. One of my favorite live actions, right next to Lilo and Stitch. Shut your mouth. Loved it. And then we did see Ballerina. Indifferent. I don't watch, what are those movies called? John Wick movies. Never seen the first 5 minutes of the first one. If you know me, I'm not going to watch anything where an animal dies. I don't care if he gets another, I don't care. So it was cool. It was a good movie. It wasn't like bad, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. Badass female role though. So I give her that. Her hair stayed perfect every fight scene. What? She had day cream on lock. And then for other hobbies, I am playing Sims again. Surprise. Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I haven't really touched it this month, I'll tell you that. And then Animal Crossing's getting the new Switch. I have started playing again. Not really building, but just doing like little things around the island. I think I do want to start getting back into building though, because I'm getting inspired. I'm back on my Pinterest boards. I'm looking at things. So if you still play Animal Crossings, let me know. Let me know. I need help with flowers. So, and then new hobbies. New hobby alert. Bedazzling. I keep calling it bejeweling. I don't know why. But bedazzling, I am currently bedazzling Binding 13. Why not? It is fun. The glue gives me a headache. And then I did color one picture. While we were watching movies with my sisters, I finished this picture. So those are my other things that I did besides reading. Even though I really didn't do a lot of reading. And then music. Music this month, or past month. Top songs. Number 3 is Lights in the Dark by Seven Lions. I love that song. That song never gets old for me, obviously. Number 2, Karma. Number 1, 15 Minutes by Sabrina Carpenter. Also, I don't know if you know this, but Karma is by Taylor Swift. And then my top 3 artists, which is a constant norm for me. Number 3 is Gracie Abrams. Number 2 is the wonderful Noah Kahan. And number 1 is the queen herself, Taylor Allison Swift. Are we surprised there? Things I did in June besides reading and other hobbies. My baby sister graduated high school. We are going to move her into her dorm next month. I literally cannot listen to the song by Noah Kahan, You're Gonna Go Far, without crying at this point in the car. My husband is like, please stop. She's going to be 45 minutes away. I don't care. I don't care. That's my baby. She graduated, super excited for her to go to college, and she's going to one of the best schools, if I do say so myself, not to be biased. I voted for our mayor of where I live. We now have our first lesbian female mayor. Well, obviously she's a female. Well, you know what I mean. We have a mayor. We had a really good mayor previously, but now in Texas, this is crazy. San Antonio is not messing around. I babysat my best friend's cats while she abandoned me and went to Cancun. Her girl cat loves me. Leia loves me because I'm godmother. I've been there since day one. We lived in the same college apartment. She got Leia when I got Luna. Well, she got Leia a little bit before I got Luna, but they were the college pets that we probably should not have had any business owning. So Leia's always loved me, you know. But Reggie, Sir Reginald, is a little chicken, but we love him. Reggie started to love me this month. I have to go visit him because I feel like he's going to forget about me. he loves me. And I'm happy because, you know, when a cat, like, dogs love everybody, but when a cat loves you, solid. It's the best. Speaking of said best friend, we celebrated her birthday. She is now 32 with me. Yay. I get to be the same age as everybody before I get older again in October. But we just went to an Italian restaurant because it's literally what we eat every year for her birthday. Not complaining. Love it. And then we went to one of our favorite bars. It's not really a favorite bar. They just have my favorite drink there. And hung out for a little bit. And then we went home before, I think, 12. And that's a beautiful night. And it really just, we didn't really do much. You know, my other sister had her birthday as well too, and we, what did we do? Oh, we went to eat dinner and the power turned off. So we got free food. That was wonderful. And that sister is kicking butt in life. So it's just great to be having good siblings. My little brother is too. Don't forget. Sorry, I know you watch this. And I really don't think we did very much in June. We didn't go anywhere. We didn't go to any concerts. We went floating. Obviously, I'm very tan. I bought a little pool for myself. That's great. It's fantastic. Didn't do very much. I really am like, how did you read 3 books and didn't do much? But then I remember that Saving 6 was 1 billion pages. I also made a TBR for July. I read 1 book off that TBR, which was Night in the Moth, because I was so consumed. Am I going to make a TBR for this month? Probably not. I am planning on reading Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. That is my book club's pick of the month, and I'm so excited because I don't think there's ever been a bad Taylor Jenkins Reid book. I don't do a lot of historical fiction, but if it's her writing, I will do it. And she always writes these badass female characters, so of course I'm going to do it. I really don't know what I'm going to read next. I finished Releasing 10 last night, and I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I don't know where to go from here. I'm a shell of a person at this point. I literally am looking at my bookshelves like, what is interesting to me? But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. No TBR next month. Maybe I'll do one for August. Who knows? I don't know. Do you know? Anyways, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. Let me know, of course, what your favorite read of was for June. How many books are you at for your reading goal? I'm almost there. I think at this point right now, I'm like 67% done. My reading goal is 75, if you don't know that. If you don't know that, sorry. Also, sorry. Nope. I was going to tell y'all I didn't break my reading ban. My book buying ban. But I did. Because I bought Redeeming 10. Because I didn't have it. I have all of Chloe Walsh's books, but I didn't have that one. So, bought that one. But you know what? It was okay that I bought that one because the weekend I bought that one, the world was on fire. So, I should make an exception for myself. And that's the exception, okay? I make the rules. That's a fun part of this, right? But as always, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me and just listening to me yap. I can't wait to see you on the next one. As always, do all the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, follow me over on Instagram. I can't wait to see you guys in the next one, and I hope you have a wonderful day.